Is it happening again? Is Brock really letting me do this again? So far, he's not taken over. All right, I'm here. I'm live. We're doing another shift live stream. I am co-producer Justin Overlander. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Say hello. Let us know how you're doing. What's the weather like in your part of the world? Anybody here going to Texas next week? Tell us about it. We want to hear about it. I wish I was going to be there with you. I'm going to miss you guys down in Texas. Anybody going to the feeding of the 5,000? So I wore my shirt partly in honor of that. Get used to different, but also because it's an applicable phrase to what we're trying to do at the shift. We want to present a different style of storytelling, so to speak. We don't want it to be super polished and super clean, kind of like The Chosen. People are messy. People are dirty. It's not pristine costumes. The shift is going to be a little grungy. So get used to different for faith-based content, because what Brock is going to do with the shift really has me excited. And hello to Oregon. I have family in Oregon. I have family in Eugene and family in Portland. And from what I understand, there's like the wet area and the very dry area, and there's nothing really in between out in Oregon. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments there. Remember, tonight we've got some really cool things coming. I've got a surprise interview. Those of you that are on Instagram may already know who it is. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. At the end of tonight's live stream, stick around till the very end. That's when we're going to show the most test footage that we have shown publicly yet. Now, Brock cut, 90 seconds, 2 minutes of the test footage for the fan club. Speaking of, if you're not in the Shift fan club, why? Why aren't you in the Shift fan club? You need to be there. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. We're shifty. We're fun. Hello from St. Joseph. Good to see you, Vicky. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We showed just a little bit of the test footage in the fan club a couple weeks ago. We're going to show that and then some tonight. The most test footage that we've shown yet. Only during the live stream, though. If you drop out early, you're going to miss it, because we're going to edit that out for the rebroadcast. So stick around, Michael Heatwell. Stick around in West Virginia. Nikki, don't leave us in Rochester. Stick around till the end to see a little bit more of the test. Now, not all of the test footage. Not all is going to be revealed tonight, but more than we've ever shown, and it's good. Of course, I'm a little biased, but I love it. I think it's going to be so. I think it's going to excite you to see what Brock was able to do with, again, no budget, and just create a mood, an atmosphere for what the Shift feature film is going to be. Speaking of the Shift feature film, how close are we? Our pledges are up over $1.8 million. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you are one of the pledgers, if you're one of the original investors, thank you so much for believing in the project, for believing in Brock, for believing in producer Ken Carpenter, for believing in executive producer Dallas Jenkins, for believing in our composers, Dan Hasseltine and Matt Nelson. Thank you for believing in everybody that is working on the Shift. And I haven't named everybody. I will certainly miss people, not intentionally, but thank you so much. The 1.8 million in pledging. If you haven't done so and you want to be notified if we open up another investment round, please go to angel.com/theshift. There are other projects there. Brock might get mad at me for saying this, but you know what? I love Angel Studios. I love what they're doing collectively in bringing more light into the world. There are other projects there that you can pledge to as well. I finally pledged to Pharma this morning. I'm excited about what Ashley and her team are doing there. So we want you to support the Shift. I'm a little biased for the Shift right now, but there are other projects there too. And I'm all about getting more uplifting light content into the world. So angel.com, you can see all the projects, angel.com/theshift, and you can see the Shift specifically. You can also see the Shift on the Angel app. The Shift short film, what we're calling the torch video. That's the angel concept of here's our torch, and we're going to build something beyond that. And look, there's the app on the screen right there. So open up the Angel app, find the Shift, and then you can see the original short movie that most of you have probably already seen, and you can see the really fun pitch video that I never get tired of. But that's my kind of humor, so I love that. Other things that are happening behind the scenes of the Shift right now is we're trying to build our social media following. We're going to be updating more. I mentioned that in the fan club specifically. One of the things that I told Brock about, and I sent him this list of 8, 9, 10 ideas, thinking, okay, hopefully he likes 3 or 4 of them. There was one that I was particularly nervous about, and it was called the boring update idea, and it was kind of inspired by Jack Handey of Saturday Night Live. Do you remember? And now Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey. I told my kids we were going to Disneyland, but instead of going to the real Disneyland, I took them to a burned out factory and said, oh no, Disneyland burned down. They were pretty disappointed, so we started driving to the real Disneyland, but it was getting pretty late, so we just went home. That was my inspiration right there for something to put out on the Shift social medias, because I've got kind of a warped sense of humor at times. And what it turned into was just me putting this effect on. I've only done one so far, but it's on the Instagram page only right now. On the Instagram, the Shift Instagram, it's at the Shift Film on Instagram. Be sure you're following us there. But it's just me running down some of the mundane things that happen. A selfie phone with some special effects, news style. It's fun. It's just fun. It's meant to be just kind of irreverent, not just a fun little diversion from what's going on. So I see on the lower third on the screen here, somebody just pledged $500. Thank you so much. It means so much to us that you're believing in this project. So to whomever just pledged $500, thank you so much. Another thing that I asked Brock to do is give some commentary on how the book of Job has inspired the feature film of The Shift. And I've been reading through the book of Job the last week and a half. It's a slog. It's a tough book to get through. And I actually took a whole class in college on the book of Job. So I have a commentary book on it. I'm reading. Oh, I'm looking at my Bible right now. I can't remember what translation it is, to be honest with you, but it's very poetically written, and it's amazing. Just what happened to Job and his interactions with his friends. So I'm coming up with verses that then Brock is going to comment on his take on why that influenced the feature length version of The Shift. And I have to respond to Jennifer. Yeah, you're good enough. You're smart enough. And I think you say, gosh darn it, I think it's doggone it. People like you, right? I'm from Minnesota, so that's he was a state representative for us for a while. Al Franken played that character of Stuart Smalley on Saturday Night Live. The other thing we're going to be doing on social media is more interactive posts, more opportunities for you to engage with us, answer polls. I did the movie mashups, which was more fun to me than it probably should have been. And I should have had this, Ryan, Esther, I apologize, our live stream team. I should have given you this picture, but I did a Photoshop of these Freddy Krueger, what do you call his hand, the razor blade hands on Satan from the short film, feeding the piece of meat to Molly. And of course, it was Nightmare on Shift Street was the movie mashup. It was taking one word of a known movie title and changing it with shift. So we had Indiana Jones and the Last Shift. We had Brock came up, what was it? Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, The Shift, which is an obscure 80s movie reference. And ironically, neither Brock nor I have seen the movie. So we were, he thought it was pretty clever. And I said, I've never even seen it. And he said, me neither. Speaking of Brock, should we bring Brock in? I think Brock is standing by, ready to join us, and we can have a whole discussion about Tu Wong Fu with Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newbar. Ryan, if you just sent me a message, I didn't quite see it. Am I missing something? Did I gloss over something that I wasn't supposed to gloss over? Okay. So now we're just waiting for Brock. Brock's going to come in, and I want him to talk about his experience at Illuminate, which was the big gala that Angel Studios had a couple weeks ago, where they were announcing some of those projects that I talked about. Pharma being one of them, Ashley Bratcher, who played the lead character in Unplanned. Funny side story, I auditioned for Unplanned. Didn't get the role, but I auditioned for it. I read the script, loved it. I read the book years ago and certainly was very moved by the book. And Chuck and Carrie Solomon, Chuck Konzelman, friends of mine, were the writers, directors of Unplanned. So Ashley is now creating a project through Angel Studios. Of course, they've got Tuttle Twins, they've got the Wingfeather Saga, freelancers. I love freelancers. I want to get on that show. You know what? Somebody there can make that happen, right? Somebody can get me on freelancers. And if Brock doesn't come on soon, I'm just going to continue to pitch myself for freelancers.
I don't know.
We haven't. There
we go. Here I am. I was like, I'm here. Why aren't I on? What's going on? Yes. Sorry, I left you hanging there.
That's okay. I was just freelancing it, so to speak, because that's ad-libbing.
The puns begin early, and I'm sure they will be often.
They will be often, Brock, as I am told everybody else, get used to different. You've got me now. Get used to puns on live streams, whether you like it or not. So I talked about Illuminate. Why don't you give us your rundown of how that event was, who you talked to, what some of the highlights were. I think we've got some pictures to show. Take it away, Brock.
Yeah, it was a really special event. Anybody who tuned into the live stream, I think it was last week before, I don't remember exactly when it was. All the days are blurring together as we put this movie together. But it was such a great event. It was so much fun. And the thing that was the most fun for me is actually the stuff that you guys didn't get to see at all, which was just connecting with all of the other creators of all of these special projects. And here's a picture of Ken Carpenter, our producer, and talking with a number of them right there, including Ashley Bratcher that you just mentioned there in the red. But I had never met any of these people. I didn't even know what some of the projects were because they were announced that day. And so this was my first chance to connect with them and get to know them. And wow, what a great group of people, and what an exciting group of projects. I don't mind at all mentioning that there are some other really great projects to invest in besides ours, although I would prefer that you look into ours. But Angel Studios has done a really great job of assembling projects that are not exactly the normal everyday faith film. In fact, I don't think any of them are what you would think of as a typical faith film, and yet they are all of very high quality. They all do express not necessarily faith, but at least light. The Angel Studios' goal is not to put out a million Christian movies as much as it is to put out movies and TV shows that amplify light, and how that is defined. I mean, that can be a number of things. But all of the people, I can tell you, all the people who were involved in these projects are really, really smart people, really nice people. I would have preferred a couple of days more, honestly, just to hang out with them all. But it was great just to see what Angel Studios is building, knowing that we're a part of that. We've been a part of that for a little while now, but it looks very different from when I first started. When I first started, it was like The Chosen was trying to get money still, and then there was us that nobody knew about. And to see what it is now, and to see what that event was. I mean, there was an ice sculpture. There were 2 ice sculptures at that event. How cool is that? It's really, really exciting. And look, for anybody who's looking into us and looking into the shift, seeing all that Angel Studios is doing, seeing all of these other projects, not just The Chosen, but everything else that's coming up. I mean, if I were you, that would give me a lot of confidence that this shift is something that is well supported and is part of a very strong ecosystem, and really part of what we've been saying for a while now, kind of a rising tide of lifting the quality and lifting voices that I don't think would otherwise get heard. I don't know. I could go on about it forever. I'm going to stop because I know you've got so much more cool stuff planned for this live stream.
No, I just wanted to comment that Lisa was right there. I already forgot her comment, but yes, bring more light was Lisa's comment. Andrea enjoyed the live stream, the Angel live stream, and I did see a comment too. I've got the live stream open in another window, trying to monitor comments on my own as well. And I just want to make clear that Unplanned wasn't an Angel project. It was a project done years ago with Chuck Konzelman and Carrie Solomon's company. But Ashley Bratcher, who starred in that, is a producer and an actor, and now she's bringing that project to life. So,
I
couple questions
actually
for
also
you,
met
Brock.
those guys
Oh, yeah.
recently too. They're super nice guys. The guys,
Yeah,
Chuck and Carrie. Yeah, I spent about an hour with them a few weeks ago. And anyways, that's a total side note. That's probably more appropriate for me and you to talk about offline. But here we are live discussing Chuck and Carrie, who are nice guys. We can move on.
Hey, that could have been one of our boring, mundane updates right there. And Brock talked
Right?
with Chuck and Carrie for 45 minutes. Another, something like that. I have to ask you, Brock, how many times did you lick the ice sculptures while you were at the gala?
Well, see, the thing is I've seen A Christmas Story, so I know not to do that.
I see. I thought, there it is. I thought, as a Californian who doesn't know a thing about ice or snow, if I would have been there with you, I would have convinced you to lick it, and we could have seen what would have happened after that. It's a rite of passage as a Minnesotan, I got to tell you.
I'm sure that's true, but thankfully I've learned my lessons well from all of my movie watching, and I know that way lies danger.
Accurate or not, Brock, none of those pictures would have existed had I not forced you to take some pictures for social media.
That is very true. That is very true. I'm a reluctant social media-er. That is not a word. Yeah, it's something I do when I think about it. And Justin's now, he's kind of like on my back saying, "Okay, this is a good one. You got to do stuff. You got it." So I was like, I was pretty much the only one there that I could see who was like, when I should have been listening to, hey, here's how everything's going to work tonight for the event. I'm off here taking pictures and doing posts and stuff. And then afterwards, I'm the idiot who's like, hey, was any of that important? Because I didn't hear any of it. I was doing what Justin told me to do. So I blame you for my inattention during that event.
Hey, on the set of The Chosen, there were many times where I was walking through the camera frame. Even I show up in an episode in my shorts and t-shirt, texting, doing something in the background, because somebody, a PA, as you know, on set, they're in charge of lockups. And so they are supposed to know where the camera framing is. And somebody probably said to me, and so I'm just standing there on the stairs, texting away, and Gaius and Matthew are having their conversation in episode 6 of season 1 of The Chosen. Now, it's been digitally removed. I've been taken out, so don't go looking for it now unless you have one of the early season 1 DVD copies. All right, let's go back to the shift. My goodness. There's some really cool stuff. Now, I know you can't get super detailed about everything, but there is stuff happening, and it's really cool and exciting stuff. So let's hear some of the updates on the feature front.
Yeah, so there's so much that I wish I could say that I just can't. We're just at this really tricky stage with the development of the film where we are just, everything's kind of just on the precipice and about to tip over into stuff that we can actually talk about. So kind of the hints that I can give right now. I've mentioned this in the fan club just a couple weeks ago. I've actually changed the name of one of the major characters in the feature film. It is a significant change, and I will share that with you at some point. But needless to say that I'm still thinking about how do we make this movie better. Honestly, it's probably the foremost preoccupation of my mind is how do I keep making the shift better? And so I'm still drafting, I'm still changing lines here and there. I'm still trying to think of what can we do to make this even better, even though I'm really happy with it. I'm not going to refuse a good idea. And so if it comes to me, I'm going to execute it. Other things that are happening, we are actively pursuing actors. I think I've mentioned that before. We've had some no's, which is good because that tells us that we're moving forward. There is no movie that gets made without no's from people. So no's is good. We still have some people that we're waiting on for hopefully some yeses. But my hope is the next time we join you, I can actually tell you who some of these actors are because they'll have actually signed on to the film. Wouldn't that be cool? But I do anticipate a lot more movement on that in the next several weeks. We have a location scouting trip planned. Ken and I will be taking off in a couple of weeks to a state in the United States that I won't announce quite yet. Well, no, you know what? I will. It's not that exciting. We're going back to Georgia. I visited Georgia last year and checked out some sites, and we've kind of rounded back on Georgia, and we're thinking, you know what? That may just be the place. But we need to go and do a little bit more investigating, find some more locations and make some more contacts. And thankfully with Ken on board, Ken has produced so many films and, and he's just a hop, skip, and a jump away over in Tennessee. So he's got a lot of contacts in Georgia. So I anticipate we'll know very quickly whether or not Georgia is a viable location. But right now it's looking pretty good. So that's kind of the update I wasn't totally planning on giving. And there's just other things. There's other things having to do with, funding sources and things like that. And of course, we've got our pledging is up right now. If you're interested in investing in the shift, we don't have an open investment right now, but we are gauging interest. And so if you do want to, possibly invest, go over to angel.com/theshift right now. You can ditch us for a minute. Hit that orange Express interest button. Let us know if you're interested in joining us. And you'll also have the opportunity to say how much. And then you're on our email list, and then we contact you if we open up that round. But so, that's going on. There's all kinds of other things going on. I'm sure that in the very near future, we're going to start being much more transparent and much more open about things. It's just not possible right now.
I got distracted by Lisa's comment, Lisa Lowe McMeans, talking about how the devil went down to Georgia. I think he was looking for a soul to steal. Apparently he was in a bind because he was way behind. And I don't know. It goes on and something like that. Andrea says, yeah, the devil down to Georgia has been done. All right. So peak peach season in Georgia. We won't go down there now. It would probably be hopefully this fall is still something that we're gearing for, right?
Yeah, we're aiming to shoot this fall. That's still the goal. These things, there's so much from putting a movie together. There's so much that's out of your control. But everybody, Angel Studios, everybody on our team, we're all aiming for this fall for a shoot. And a fall shoot in Georgia, I'm assuming that wouldn't be a bad time to shoot. That seems like the weather would be favorable for us. And if it's still peach season then, I don't know. I don't actually like peaches. I like the taste of peach. I like the flavor of peach, but the texture of peaches, not my thing. So I don't know if that makes me banned from Georgia, but that's the truth.
No, I think it just means we have to accept applications for a peach juice squeezer. Somebody that will come down, pick the peach, squeeze it, and then feed it to Brock. All right, Darby, super pumped for this. Yeah, I am too. I mean, and it's easy for me to say because I'm on this side of it, but Brock, you can attest to this. I was excited about this before signing on board. You and I had so many conversations before I was officially attached to the project. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have been excited for the shift for so very long, since really getting to know you down in Texas or in Utah. Was it? Yeah, it was Utah. When
Utah,
we
it was
met
Utah.
and got to know each other. Yep.
On the set of the Chosen, where I was a PA for 2 weeks.
And one of the coldest weeks too, probably some of the coldest weather you've ever experienced in your life, I would imagine, right?
Yes, it was. I have rarely ever, I lived in Utah for 2 months back when I was 19. And that was I came in on a blizzard. So that was very cold, but I didn't have to stay out in the cold like I did on the set of The Chosen, where I was literally outside all day long. So yeah, my very, very cold California body was not enjoying that so much, but the experience was incredible. Hey, there we are, set of The Chosen, me, you, and Matt Nelson. Look at that. You can see if you actually count the layers like double the layers you see me wearing in that photo, because that's how many are hidden that you still can't see. I just layered up like crazy. I think I'm wearing like 2
And
jackets.
we all had to hold our breath so that it wouldn't fog up the screen in front of us.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
that's not true. For the picture. All right. Brock, I
Well,
know
my
you don't
glasses
love
fogged up.
cold. They did, yeah. Well, and especially when we were masked up, because then your breath goes right up underneath glass. All right.
Yep.
I know you don't love cold weather. I know you don't love social media. Believe it or not, I don't love social media either. And
No one
because of
believes
that,
you.
I put. I don't. I
No
just
one believes you.
I was ready to drop social media altogether until The Chosen came along, and then it kind of became a necessary piece of the puzzle. And it is a necessary piece of the puzzle. Without social media, we don't have investors on the shift. We don't. The Chosen doesn't exist without social media. The shift isn't where it's at without social media. So it's something that can be used for good, and I have made it one of my objectives or one of my missions for however long it lasts, to be a light in social media and to prove to people that it doesn't have to be such a dark place. So I put together a game. Brock, we're going to play a game tonight, and everybody joining us on Facebook or YouTube, you're going to participate as well. So get ready, put your thinking caps on, and we're going to see the responses. This game is called Engage or Ignore. And it's really simple. I'm going to put a comment up on the screen. Now, every one of these comments is farmed from one of our ads that is floating around on Facebook and Instagram. So people see this video is put in front of them for one reason or another, and they felt compelled enough to leave a comment. So that's the context of where these comments come from. It's not necessarily super important that you know, but I wanted to have that context, because every one of these comments we're going to put up on the screen, and you're going to type. People that are watching, you're going to type in the comments, engage or ignore. If you want to abbreviate and just say E or I, and E for engage, I for ignore. And what I mean by engage is, do you want to leave a comment on it? Is it worth your time to actually comment on it, or even leave an emoji, a heart, a hug, a sad, a mad, any of that? Or is it best to just scroll on past, just ignore? Engage or ignore is the name of the game. And the winner, here's the cool part. The winner of this game is going to get some Shift merch and the opportunity to join the live stream in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. We'll hopefully move through the game fairly quickly and bring you on to chat with us for a few minutes. So, Sherry, it is never too late to think. Come on, Sherry Bowman. I can't, you know what? Go sit in the corner. Sherry and I go way back. I can say that to Sherry. She had the comment that said it's too late to think. All right, here we go. Let's put the first comment up there. So your task.
Wait, can I ask a clarifying question? Okay.
Yes.
So, and maybe this is just because I don't pay attention well, but I'm afraid that maybe somebody else doesn't understand either. Because here's the thing. Here's a little bit of context. I don't know what any of these comments are. I have no idea what we're going to see. But I also know that we get some horrible comments on some of our ads. So this is going to be really interesting. But how is the winner determined? You have already decided whether or not engage or ignore, and then however their score matches to yours, that's the winner. Whoever matches the most. Okay, I'm getting that right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm sure everybody else understood except me.
It's on the honor system, everybody. So Roper, don't say you got them all right, even if you didn't. Just be honest, okay? Let me know. And look, here, spoiler alert, this is all arbitrary. there's gray in here. Part of this, it's just meant to be lighthearted fun. But I have a reason behind every engage or ignore, and we'll talk about that. So are you ready now, Brock? Are you nervous?
Yes, I'm ready. I am nervous because I have not previewed this. I have no idea. My dogs are now barking. That makes it worse. Okay, here we go.
All right. Comment number 1. Love it. We will be keeping close tabs. Thank you so much for opening the door to speculative stories told by Christian creators! Exclamation point, exclamation point. Just leave your comment. Is this something that you should engage? And Brock, before you answer, just let's see some people coming through. Engage or ignore? Cheryl, you think it's a test? I'm not sure. Engage or ignore with this comment. Seeing a lot of ease for engage, a lot of ease. I think everybody's had enough time now. Brock, what do you think? Engage or ignore?
Oh yeah, totally engaged. This is a great comment. I would thank them and make sure they have seen the link and they clicked on it. This is an E all the way.
100%. Yep, engage. This is a no-brainer. This one doesn't. There's very little gray in this one. It's a positive comment, and you can add to that positivity by just thanking them, and being more light, adding to the light that's already there. Excellent. All right, let's do. That was simple. Everybody got that right, correct?
I'm feeling much more comfortable now.
Okay, good. They get harder. All right. Next comment coming up here in a moment. Ed, tell them what they win if they get this one right. Oh, here it is. I'm not a Christian or a fan of religion in general, but this seems really interesting. I've been thinking about something like this for a while. Engage or ignore? Brock, give everybody an opportunity to respond before you give your answer. Engage or ignore? I'm not a Christian or a fan of religion in general, but this seems really interesting. I've been thinking about something like this for a while. Seeing a lot of ease again, a lot of engages. I think maybe this one was a little easy too. Brock, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with the ease on this one. In fact, this is the kind of person that we are hoping that the shift can reach. Someone who isn't very religious or a Christian or any of that. Like this is part of our target audience. So yes, I would engage with this person.
Love it. Easy engage with this one asterisk. Okay? As Christians, sometimes we get this pounce mentality. I'm not a Christian or a fan of religion in general. This is not your chance to put a link to finding God or the case for Christ. This is not your chance to try to convert them. This is your chance to just say, awesome, we want you as a part of our audience. What God wants to do with it after that is what God wants to do after that. So let's not pounce. Let's not scare people away. Now, this is my opinion. I could be wrong on that.
No, you're right. Like Can I add to that too? This is also not your chance to tell them that you're going to pray for them. Like you can pray for them all you want. Don't tell them that you're going to pray for them, because it's what you're saying. It makes it seem like you're pouncing on them, and that's, there might be a chance for dialogue here, but it's not going to happen like that.
Absolutely.
Better to just say, hey, that's great. You're welcome, and then let them come in and naturally have conversations with people.
And I want to tell one little secret here too that people probably know, but I'm just going to mention anyway. Announcing that you're praying for somebody has no bearing on the effectiveness of that prayer. Just putting that out there. Just letting you know.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. 2 E's, 2 engages. Brock is 2 for 2. I think everybody else is 2 for 2. We're going to have a tie. All right. Hopefully this is getting a little bit harder. Comment number 3. Funny, if you read the disclaimer, no money is being solicited here, yada, yada, yada. But if you do send money, this would be a cool project to be a part of. But as an actor, I have to get paid, and most all faith-based films are, as they say, labors of love. Sorry, can't feed the family and love alone. Need more than that so the Lord can provide for my family as well. Engage or ignore on this one. Engage or ignore. I'm going to adjust my light. I feel like I'm feeling like I'm being shadowed in some darkness here. This one's a little more mixed. I see some E's, I see some I's. Oh, there, my light's falling now. Brock, what do you think? Would you engage with this one or ignore?
So this is a little mixed, and in fact, I've seen this comment, and I have chosen to not engage with it. Although I think that was more just because of time and being on the go. I would engage. I don't know. I have no idea if this is the right answer that you have in mind, but I would engage with this. I don't see this as a person who is trying to pick at us. They seem to be having, they're wondering about the disclaimer. They're worried that the film isn't going to pay anybody, which, the whole point of getting money is so that we can pay people. So I'm not quite sure how they got to that. But I'm not seeing somebody here who is a troll or anything like that. They seem to have an honest concern. So I would have no problem engaging with them.
I would have no problem with that either, time allowing. I don't think there's harm from engaging with this one. However, I would say this is one that you're fine ignoring. And here are the keys. They start off with what I consider snark, funny if you read the disclaimer. And for us now, clearly they're misreading it because they aren't understanding that this is just a gauging interest, and we make that pretty clear in the pitch video and in the fine print and everything. So they didn't pay real close attention. And the reason I say ignore for this one is because it's not going to lead to a productive conversation. And I don't know. And not to put you under the spotlight here, Brock, but curious for all of you that said engage, feel free to say something along the lines of, what you would say to this. And again, there's no wrong answer except it's my game and I'm saying ignore. So if you said engage, you got one wrong. But it all leads to what are the possible outcomes of this? And the interview that we have coming up, we talk about potential outcomes. So Jennifer's comment, I'm thinking you high level engage with everyone, but don't get sucked into back and forth. Ooh, I love the back and forth. That's really key right there. There's no, and Lori, politely engage. Engage once. This could be a one and done. This isn't looking for. Back
and forth is usually always a really bad idea. And look, if I were to engage with this person, I would start, and I think this is anytime you engage with anybody, especially if they do have any kind of negative thing and you feel like compelled or you feel like it could be a good thing to engage with them, you always want to lead off, I believe, with the thing that is positive or the thing that you have in common. So with this person, I would say, hey, thanks for checking out the project. Glad you think it's cool, because that is one of the things that they said. This would be a cool project to be a part of. So boom, we can agree on that, and then maybe after that, I would kind of address some of those concerns and offer some very light correction of, hey, you know what, we're not soliciting money because we're just trying to see if anybody's interested. And, we're getting money. We're trying to get money for this film because we want to pay people. Nobody's going to act on this thing and work on it for free. That's not what we're doing. So, that would be the way to do it. But then because of that snark that it leads off with, I am opening myself up to them coming back at me and saying something, and possibly trying to needle at me. It could go a bad direction, which I think is what you're talking about, Justin. And so that's kind of the judgment call. While there is a way to address this, you can easily see how this can end up going a bad direction because they led with snark. And at that point, boom, it is a one and done. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna engage you further. I've offered my thoughts, and I'll do that often where when I feel like somebody's got a point that others are seeing and that they might be good to address it, but then when they come back and they try to challenge me, they don't get my attention anymore. That is the end of it. I've said my piece and people can see what I said.
Yeah, no, and I'm totally on board with that.
And totally a judgment call. Ignore is totally valid.
Yeah, and even the comments coming through Langford, I saw yours. It could be informative indeed, and there's a way to do it politely. For me, it's really difficult to respond to this without coming across as defensive. And so the snark is beginning at funny if you read the disclaimer, and then there's most all faith-based films are, as they say, labors of love, which is inaccurate. and then sorry, can't feed the family and love alone, which is true, but it leads to more snark. So it's difficult to respond, and we don't need to spend the entire game on this one. But I think
We could, though. There's a lot to dissect here.
And this kind of proves the value of this exercise, this game, because it gets people thinking, and it gets you thinking about, okay, if I respond this way, how are they going to respond? And that can help kind of head things off at the pass. So Victoria, yes, I like this game as well. Thank you. I'm so glad. All right, that's 3 comments. Comment number 4, we might have to end at 5 or 6. Comment number 4 coming in, because I need to
might have to do the game again sometime.
All of a sudden, if people are liking this, let's keep doing this. All right, engage or ignore with this one. 1, because truth isn't merely what's observable with the 6 senses, and 2, because Christians can't grasp one. They are horrible at art. Film is a form of art. All right, engage or ignore with this one. Brock, let's give everybody a little bit of time. Roper wants to engage with this one. And I'm not sure if I'm seeing the comments coming in real time or if I'm seeing them. Seeing some ignores. Yeah, this one's mixed again. I'll read it one more time out loud. 1, because truth isn't merely what's observable with the 6 senses, and 2, because Christians can't grasp one. They are horrible at art. Film is a form of art. Brock, what does your gut tell you for this one? Engage or ignore?
Yeah, I would ignore this one. They're basically making a very broad generalizations by saying that, first of all, insulting my intelligence as a Christian, and then insulting my ability to make art. Which, again, it's not that there isn't a good conversation that can be had. If I was face-to-face with this person, I would welcome that conversation. Social media is a different beast. And there's only one way that, in my opinion, that this can go if I respond to this person, and that's badly. So I would ignore.
I 100% say ignore this one as well, because they've put their flag in the ground. They're not interested in conversation. They're interested in lecturing. And I'm all about progress isn't made by lectures. Progress is made by conversations. And this isn't a conversation in the making. This is, I'm telling you what you need to do. I mean, Christians can't grasp one. Also, am I just ignorant here? I thought there were 5 senses. Am I completely wrong? I mean, what?
You forgot about the 6th sense when you know that there's a dead person in the room with you.
See the shadow? There's a dead person behind me. I gotta turn my lights on here pretty soon. All right, yeah, I think ignore. I'm going with ignore on that one. So we've got 2 engages, 2 ignores. Let's do the 5th one and see if we've got a clear-cut winner. If we don't, then we'll do a 6th one. But comment number 5 is coming up right now. Oh, and this is a long one. Brock, you want to read this one out loud?
Sure. This was very powerful. Kevin is me, was me. I feel like I had that moment of walking out on Satan today. God, in the name of your everlasting and ever-loving Son, Jesus Christ, do I pray, Satan, get thee behind me. Amen. I've been frustrated and bitter for far too long now. This short film has shown me the way out. Thank you, Brock. Praying that the feature film is funded and successful. In the name of his everlasting and ever-loving Son, Jesus Christ, do I pray. Amen.
So people partaking online, engage or ignore on this one? Engage or ignore? And in the interest of time, I think, Brock, I'll just have you give what your instinct is on this one.
Yeah, this would be an engage for me. They're excited about the film, and that's not the only reason to engage. If somebody isn't excited, there's still a way to engage. But in this particular case, I see no red flags here that I can see. Tell me I'm wrong, Justin.
No, this is slam dunk engage. And the reason for me in particular is because I've seen conversations like this occur on social media and lead to friendships, to be quite honest with you. People that I now consider friends through social media are people that I may have interacted on a post like this before. When somebody said to me, for instance, in The Chosen, I was Mary Magdalene, I'm like, sister, I've got you. Brother, I've got you. And this to me is somebody that is a fairly new in the faith, because they're using some of the ecumenical terms that sometimes early Christians adapt because they hear them in church and they want to sound Christian. It's Christianese. I was very, very intentional in blocking out people's names. There's always a chance that this person could be joining us tonight. I want to just know that I'm loving on this individual and recognizing that this is somebody that I think is ready to have these deeper conversations. Now, I don't know, Brock, you or I commenting as the shift, if we're able to get into this deep theological conversation with this person in a public forum.
Probably not.
But this is where I want fans of the shift. This is where I want our shift soldiers out there looking at opportunities like this to connect with somebody. I mean, this is what I see social media having some benefit to it, because this person probably wants this is a long comment, and it was on let's see, I can't remember if the dark was Instagram or Facebook, but anyway, it took some effort to type this out. So this is somebody that wants that wants to have a little engagement. So yeah, to me this is a slam dunk. Engage. So that's 5. Let's do one more. I saw somebody is 5 for 5. A couple of people are 5 for 5 already. So while we're bringing up the next comment, this will be the last comment number 6. Let us know who is 5 for 5 so far. Cheryl Lou, I see you've got 5. Dan, oh goodness, I may not be Emer. Forgive me. Sometimes I know you're using like pseudonyms and stuff. Oh, Kyler, you're 6 out of 5. Great job. Is that sixth sense of yours working? Very, very, very cool. All right. Comment number 6. This is our final comment for the game, and maybe we'll play this again sometime. If God is behind this project, why doesn't he provide you with the money you need? Doesn't he own everything? Engage or ignore in this one. Oh, lots of people are 5 for 5. Engage or ignore. If God is behind this project, why doesn't he provide you with the money you need? Doesn't he own everything? Engage or ignore. Brock, what do you think with this one?
This would be an easy ignore for me. This is not a person who is genuinely asking a question. This is a person who is using questions as a rhetorical device to tell me that that my belief in God is ridiculous. So I don't feel the need to engage with them at all.
Sherry, is that probably an ignore for this one? But you would engage. I have no doubt that you would. And it depends. It honestly depends on my mood. I mean, there may be a time where I would respond to this with a sarcastic gif or something. As myself, I wouldn't respond as the shift with something sarcastic.
Yeah, but you know that's going to go south so fast. I mean, no matter how you respond, no matter how clever you think you are, this person is going to dig in and try to one up you at that point. That's what's going to happen.
But it could be the one and done instead of the, we'll cut it off with the back. There won't be a back and forth. But I mean, I would 90% of the time I would ignore a comment like this. But if I'm feeling particularly snarky, I may just engage with it. So, all right. Yeah. Plenty of you are 6 for 6. So we're on the honor system here. If you went 6 for 6 and I don't know. Yeah, there's a bunch of people that are 6 for 6. So here's the tiebreaker. And go ahead, Brock.
I had a suggestion, but you've already got a tiebreaker in mind. So you go for it.
I do, and this may not work well, but this is a speed tiebreaker, okay? And accuracy is key for this one. If you were 6 for 6, please, okay, if you were 5 for 6, or if you were 7 for 6, Kyler, don't respond to this tiebreaker question. But if you were 6 for 6 on this, respond. The first person to answer this completely accurately is the winner and gets some shift merch and will come on live with us briefly.
May you respond in the comments?
Yep, in the comments. In the comments,
Okay.
I can see Facebook comments. YouTube, somebody else will have to monitor that. So this, counting on Ryan and Esther and everybody helping out. What was my character that I played as an actor in The Chosen? What was my character in The Chosen that I played as an actor? The first person to accurately type that in, who was also 6 for 6, is the winner of the game.
And if you haven't seen The Chosen, this is still a fair question because, of course, IMDb is available. You can look it up there.
I'm just waiting for somebody to write Simon.
Simon.
Oh,
Didn't you play
Ian,
Jesus?
why? All right. Oh, I missed Langford's comment. I want to see Langford's comment. Where was that? He said something probably snarky. Langford and I go way back. Langford is a tremendous gentleman and somebody that I think fondly of. All right, so I'm going to trust that we've got the winner. I'm not going to say it right now. I don't want to misspeak. So let's just jump right in. We're a little behind time. Hopefully you guys are having fun though. I think it's been a fun live stream so far. We've got an interview now. I think it's time for that, right? And then we'll come back and we'll dive. Go ahead.
I was just going to say one thing real quick before we jump into that. Just as a reminder to everybody, we are showing more of the test footage. That is coming up later. Stick with us. You're going to want to see this. It is coming. I promise you. It's worth waiting for. And it will only be live tonight. We're not going to include it in the rebroadcast. So stick around. We won't drag this out too terribly long, but this interview that I had with my good friend, Matt Matias, I can finally say who it is. Matt Matias is one of the founders of Memes for Jesus. I love Memes for Jesus. They've got 500,000 followers on Facebook, 300-some thousand followers on Instagram. They've got a podcast called Meme Lord Monday, and he and I had a great conversation a few days ago. I wore this shirt, and I talked about it in the interview, but I cut that part out. We had like a 40-minute talk that I cut down to 15 minutes, but I think you'll find it engaging. So stick around. Test footage coming at the end of the live stream, so maybe 25 minutes or so. We'll just stick around and let's roll that interview. You'll enjoy it, and I'll turn my lights on while we're watching.
You guys aren't afraid to make somebody a little uncomfortable from time to time, right?
Yeah, some would say that we're more spineless than spineful. I don't know if that's the term.
Have you actually gotten that feedback? Have you been told you're spineless?
Well, yeah, because like on my podcast, I actually like on our podcast and in our groups, like we have a community group, we try to be more ecumenical, and I actually try and welcome, you know, outside voices. And that is in itself is edgy to say, hey, I'd like to talk with someone I disagree with. And they're like, well, you are spineless. You know what I'm saying? That's like the current climate of the internet right now, where if you're somewhere within, 3 centimeters outside of your echo chamber, all of a sudden you're either a liberal, heretic, what have you. You can't even talk to people you disagree with now. So that's kind of like where we stand as far as like my personal beliefs. But like, yeah, the page, to go back to your question, the page itself, we like to rustle some jimmies. We'll pick a certain meme that will attack, not necessarily attack, satire. Okay, we don't do mocking. We try and just have some fun with some Pentecostal memes or some Calvinist. I'm a Calvinist, so I'll make Calvinist memes. My buddy Mike, who started the page and helps me run it, he does Pentecostal memes. He's an AG certified minister. We make fun of ourselves. But people get upset because they can't also receive that own self-criticism, I guess. Well, I don't know, Justin.
No, and hey, I tell you what we tend to do is that we learn one thing about somebody, and that one thing we learn about them, all of a sudden we're filling in every other gap of their entire life history and backstory. You voted for that guy? Well, clearly you're this, that, and that. You disagree about that? Well, clearly you agree with this, and that. And it just drives me absolutely nuts. And so here we are doing a genre of film in the faith realm that just isn't really done. Sci-fi and faith don't always mix. For you guys, memes don't always mix with faith. And so when somebody attacks you for putting something out there that is just meant to be lighthearted fun, do you engage with them or do you ignore them? I mean, how do you guys handle it specifically?
Yeah, depending on like the context of it, I know like to go there, I guess to just kind of like elaborate where we're at right now. In America, there's the whole Supreme Court, possibly moving to abolish Roe versus Wade, which is, it has to do with abortion policies. And there's so much going on the internet right now with the topic. It's a very, very touchy subject amongst even Christians. I think there's a good bit of unity on what that looks like within Christianity. However, there isn't 100% unity. And so we won't touch it with our memes. Like we're just not interested. And so sometimes I'll get DMs saying, "Where's your Roe versus Wade memes? Where's your memes?" And I'm like, I mean, this is my meme page. I don't want to do that. I don't want to sift through 2,000 comments of rage and, just absolute vitriol. I don't want to deal with it. Not because I don't have a position, but I don't have the time or, patience to deal with other people's positions and them dealing with it in the comments and making friends in the comments. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, you believe what I believe?" "Oh, yeah." And then they like gang up on some other guy. I don't have time for that. Because then that guy who got ganged up on complains to me, "You need to do a better job monitoring your page." No. All the foreseeable possible potential futures that could generate, I want none of that. I don't want anything to do with that.
What's striking to me is that somebody has the audacity to say, "Oh, you should be speaking on this topic," and assuming that they have a voice in what you, as the content creator, I mean, you and Mike, you guys create all the content that memes for Jesus, right? And
Pretty much, yeah.
So shouldn't it be your choice and your call? And then they assign, "Oh, well, if you're silent on it, well, then I guess we know where you stand," right?
Yeah. Well, don't you know, Justin? Silence is violence. Don't you know that?
So even though you try not to necessarily stir up the water on a hot topic, sometimes a relatively innocent meme can go out there and somebody can misinterpret it or find an agenda that just isn't there. What do you guys do when that happens, when somebody tries to hijack the comments with their agenda?
Yeah. So just perfect example. We just had recently had a meme that was about the Roe versus Wade situation, but it didn't address it directly. It addressed a concept. So the meme was a headline from Washington Post where it said, "TikToker makes videos about how hookup culture will be devastated if Roe versus Wade is abolished." That was the headline. And so I just put General Palpatine underneath there and saying, "Good." That's all I did. That was it. Because hookup culture, like, how stupid does that sound? And I think that should be an objectively dumb thing. But people love reading into memes. So they love reading into headlines to kind of connect with some type of talking point that they have already preconceived in their mind.
Did you end up engaging with any of those? Did you end up having to remove anybody? Or did you just kind of let it run its course and you just stand aside, flabbergasted?
I don't think that like we went crazy. Looking at people, like, if anything, what you can do on Instagram right now is actually restrict people. So if somebody's just going off and commenting, like, I think there was one guy that was just like, "Wow, I guess that means that you want women to give birth to this baby and under these, hypothetical circumstances." And I'm like, okay. And so I restricted him. And so he can continue commenting, but he's going to be the only one that sees them, which is an excellent feature from Instagram. Thank you so much for that feature.
I didn't even realize that. That's
it's
fantastic.
called restrict. It's restrict. So they're still following, just nobody sees their comment, which is chef's kiss.
So that makes me curious now. I mean, I've left probably, 75 comments on your memes in the last day or two, and I haven't seen any responses. Is that, should I be worried about something?
I always know when Justin comments on our memes because when you follow someone, you get the notification, and I'm like, yes. So no, you're good. You're good, man.
Once in a while, you'll even pin one of mine, which I always appreciate if I come up with something that is pin-worthy on a Memes for Jesus meme. That always makes me feel really, really good. I'm a sarcastic person just by nature. I mean, I exude, like, I want to love on everybody. I truly do. But there are some that are so difficult to love. And I know we are called to love the unlovable. And sometimes I feel like the best love I can offer them is just hey, nice try, and just a real sarcastic comment that may go way over their head, but then just leave it. Just leave it. And that's why I wanted you on a live stream for The Shift in particular, is because we're trying to enable our early adapters, our big fans. And similar to The Chosen, we are made up of a lot of investors. It's a crowd-funded feature film, and we want to equip. That's why I want you, I'm looking right at the camera now, you, shift soldiers. That's what I've learned we are called. Now there's about 100 different things we could call them, but the shift sounds close to a scatological term, has been exhausted to death. So we'll go with shift soldiers. I want you to give yourself permission to ignore the comments that just are clearly from a place of, I'm just here to stir up the water. I'm reading into things that just aren't there. It would be trite and a little dismissive, I think, of me to say, oh, you just got to have thick skin. You can't let it bother you. At some point, it must bother you when somebody leaves a comment that's just like, dude, where are you coming from? Karen is kind of an old term, but you have some of these Karen comments of either people that have been in the faith for a long, long time or brand new to the faith and are adapting those trends already and trying to just, oh, that speck in your eye. I need to work on that speck in your eye. How do you handle things like that?
I'll be honest. Dealing with the Christian community is interesting because I've gotten comments. I've literally just said, "What does this even mean? What are you even saying, dude?" Like, it happens so often. Like, even in our community group, sometimes I'm like, I have no idea what this means. This just make it's so, like, some Christians, I think, are so enmeshed with the Christianese and the Christian mindset, and they've never really left or walked outside that kind of circle and way of speaking in that context, that they're just kind of oblivious to, like, what they're saying. Like, they think that they're speaking in a way that's understandable by everyone. Like, so they'll use words like sanctification, or they'll use words like, infralapsarianism, or use these crazy theological terms, or like Christianese. Like, just the other day, somebody was like, oh no, actually this was just today too. Somebody in my group was like, I feel like God has called me to bring a fresh understanding to the prophetic utterances within Scripture. And I'm like, God has called you to proselytize your views on eschatology in my Christian meme page? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me right now? What? First of all, why? Second of all, go somewhere else. Do that somewhere else. I don't think anyone wants to be corrected, and I don't think that's your calling. I mean, that, I didn't go that far, but that, I deal with that all the time, Justin. Just people, just oblivious, and it's unfortunate that you see that within Christians online. And I'm not here to say that I'm not always oblivious myself. Like, I've probably have said stuff to my my unbelieving friends, and they're like, dude, what the heck? Where'd that come from? I don't even know what you're talking about. That Matt guy is weird. I'm sure I've done that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
It does. And I'm glad that you talk about how Christians kind of attack Christians, and that nothing makes Satan happier than when we're fighting amongst ourselves. I really believe that that's his biggest pleasure is seeing, God-fearing people that profess to believe in the same Bible, fighting and arguing with each other about, splitting hairs about these details and such. So, yeah, it's you just got to love on each other somehow, find a way, and give a sarcastic once in a while, right? I love from Wayne's World. I'm dating myself again. Wayne's World.
Yes, we got to bring that back. We got to bring that back big time.
I think so. So this is great because while your approach is humor and the Shift's approach is sci-fi, I think those are both genres that aren't necessarily widely appreciated in the Christian world. And, there's going to be some dark elements in the Shift. There's certainly some dark humor at times in Memes for Jesus content, but we just got to learn how to love on each other and recognize that we're all called to different things. We're the body of Christ, We've got fingers, we've got toes, we've got elbows. Some of us are butts, maybe I'm the butt of the body. I don't know. But we just have to learn to get along with each other. Why can't we all just get along, right? Get along. So, Matt, let's close it off and just tell the Shift people that aren't familiar with Memes for Jesus. First of all, how do they find you?
Yeah, Memes for Jesus is run by myself, Matt Matias, and Michael Schaefer. And you can find us on Facebook, Memes for Jesus. TikTok now, we're Memes for Jesus. Same thing for Instagram. And we're going to try and start doing some more stuff for YouTube as well. We have a podcast called Meme Lord Monday. It's not Memes for Jesus podcast, although you can search for it and that will pop up. It's called Meme Lord Monday. And I interview Christian creators and help you find the meme in everyday life. And we just talk about fun stuff. I help you discover Christian creators as well. I interview Christian creators, have a Christian creator spotlight. And I've had a really great time just talking with people like Justin and some people that you may already know and some people that you do not know.
Anybody that can tolerate my kind of humor, believe me, you're going to love Memes for Jesus, Meme Lord.
Yes.
Monday. I mean, dude, check it out for real.
So keep this in here, Justin. We are going to support this. Okay. Memes for Jesus is going to support this because I am entirely intrigued about everything I've already seen. So yeah, we will be backing this.
Love it. Love that so much. Thank you, brother, for being here. And God bless you and your family and everything that you guys are doing.
Thanks, Justin. Good talking with you.
All right. How cool is Matt? Like, I haven't met him. I haven't had the privilege of talking to him, but like, I love that interview. I love everything he had to say. Like, what a cool-headed, like, good head on his shoulders dude.
Yeah, they're doing great things over there at Memes for Jesus, and I did not provoke him to say that they would support the Shift. I had no idea that he was going to do that, so I think it's really cool and says something about him. Yeah. So, all right,
yeah, definitely.
We should wrap things up soon and get to that test footage. Are we ready to talk with our winner? Is that working out?
Our winner we're having some technical difficulties getting her online with us. So I want to announce her name, and then if we are able to get her, then we'll bring her in. But we're just going to move on for right now. But congratulations to Suzanne Flynn. Suzanne, you guessed, 6 out of 6 correctly. You used your sixth sense. You got all the right answers, and you got the tie-breaking question, of course, is which role did Justin play in The Chosen? And the answer was Roman Messenger. Suzanne, you took it. Congratulations to you. And if we were able to work out your tech issues in the next few minutes, we will be glad to talk with you and bring you on. So Suzanne, as part of her winning, she gets to choose whatever she wants from our merch store. Our merch store, which actually has not been around since January. It is totally shut down. However, this is a surprise announcement. We are opening the merch store as of right now for 48 hours. For the next 48 hours, you can order our Find the Light hoodie, our Shift logo t-shirt, our Kevin Will Have a Coffee mug, or our Shift logo beanie. And this is a limited stock. And also, and this is very important, we are announcing this for the first time today, none of these items will ever be available again. That's right. Once all of those sell out, you're never going to find them again. So for the next 48 hours only, you have another opportunity to buy Shift merch if you've ever thought that you wanted it, or you missed it the first time, or you're a new fan to the Shift and you didn't even know that we ever had merch at all. This is your opportunity. So get in there, go to shop.angel.com/the Shift. You'll find our stuff there up on the Angel store. 48 hours. What that's gonna put us late Thursday, early Friday morning, somewhere around there. It's gonna be removed, and that'll be it. So get over there quickly. What's the word? Ryan and Esther up in Utah running this whole thing. Is Suzanne? Any chance for Suzanne coming on with us, or are we gonna? Nope. All right, we're going to have to move on. Suzanne, I'm so sorry we didn't get a chance to talk to you. Suzanne, of course, has been a fan of the Shift for a while, and I've had many interactions with her online, and so I'm sorry we don't get this opportunity. But congratulations to you, and please avail yourself of the free merch. I can't wait to see you wearing it. Hopefully, you'll send us a photo or something. But okay. What are we forgetting? Go to angel.com/the Shift. Express your interest. Let us know. Drusilla B did. She's from Maryland, and she just pledged $150. Also, someone else just pledged $50. Thank you to both Drusilla and someone else. And someone else pledged $1,000. Thank you to them very, very much. So we are now over $1.8 million in pledges, which is crazy, and also totally expected, because no, not expected, but we're very, very grateful. And honestly, no, what I'm going to take that back. This is expected, because here's the thing: we're doing the Shift because we believe in it. We're making this movie because we believe that it is something that is important, that's special, and that can and will be a success. That's why we're doing it. There's no guarantees in this thing, but that's the sincere belief that I have, that Justin has, that Dallas Jenkins, creator of The Chosen, has, because he's our executive producer, one of our executive producers, Matt and Dan, who did the composing for the music for The Shift, or The Chosen, will be doing also for The Shift, and Beverly Holloway. We announced her a couple months ago or a month ago, a casting director for The Chosen, also going to be our casting director. Ken Carpenter, our producer. All of these people, there's this giant team, and there's other people too. They are part of this. They believe in this. They know and believe that the film will be successful, and that's why we're doing this. So we're so grateful for those of you that are pledging. We haven't opened up investment yet, but if we do, anybody who's pledged, they're going to be the first to know. Okay, it's time for the test footage. Let's show this off. Justin, is there anything I'm forgetting before we cut to this test footage?
No, I know everybody's anxious, but I just want to clarify one more time. And Ryan, if we could put the gift store URL up there again. It's shop.angel.com/the-shift.
Oh, yes.
Or some
dash
it could be the hyphen shift, the dash shift. Or if you just go to shop.angel.com, you can actually choose Shift merchandise.
Yeah.
And it is, I will mention this too, it's limited quantities, and Father's Day is coming up. If they ordered, would it be delivered in time for Father's Day? Maybe, I don't know. Just an idea.
There's a decent chance, but I don't know that we can guarantee that. But I think there's a decent chance. The shipping has been pretty good lately, so not like all the problems we had earlier this year. Just
wanted that for clarity.
All right, so let's show this test footage. Now, here's the thing. Those of you that are watching right now, you're the only ones who get to see this. Anybody who's watching this, who's hearing my voice in a replay, you're not seeing what we're about to show because we only showed it live. This test footage is not the complete test footage. It is a good portion of it. I think it's just over 2 minutes of it, which is significantly longer than what we've shown previously. But this is not the whole thing. There is more to come, but this is how much we're showing you tonight. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm Brock Heasley. I'm the writer and director of The Shift, and I am so glad to be doing this movie with you.
Thank you, guys. Good night.